So what's your name?
George Elliott Clark.
And can poetry matter?
Poetry matters, absolutely. And it matters because people will always need to find the right words to express emotions that are important to us in key moments and crises and moments of great joy in our lives.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. My name is Marty Gervais, Poet Laureate for the City of Windsor. Poetry matters because deep down in our souls, we look for answers, we have questions, we don't always have the answers. And the answers can be found in the words that well up in our anxieties, and well up in our concerns. And poetry can provide those solutions. They can provide us with a way out of our chaos. And that's why poetry matters.
My name is John B. Lee, and I write poetry. And the question is, why does poetry matter? And I would rephrase the question and say, how does poetry matter? Because poetry, it seems to me, is essential. It's one of the things that makes us human, like breathing. And how poetry matters is that we have deep needs. We have a deep inner life. And we're so often distracted by the outer world, and we feel a sense of otherness and a disconnection from the outside world, and a disconnection from one another, a disconnection from the sacred and the spiritual. And I would say poetry matters because it allows us to plumb the deep wells of the self and to transform the inner life. Poetry matters in the way that prayer matters. Prayer is often misunderstood because you're importuning God. I would say that prayer matters because you're saying the words that have the capacity to transform your inner life. Prayer and poetry are the same that way.
My name is Nancy Boss, and I'm a teacher at St. Joan of Arc Secondary School in Mississauga, and I've been asked why poetry matters. And actually, as a music teacher, poetry matters to me in the sense of music. Poetry is something that brings out emotion and allows people to express themselves. And when you think of melody, when you think of the flow of a musical line, when you think of harmony, sounds working together, all this to me is why poetry matters.
Hi, so what are your names?
My name is Franz. And I'm Monica.
My name is Kua. I'm Sita.
Okay, and can poetry matter?
Yes, because it's a way of expressing yourself in different ways. Poetry matters because it could put you in a completely different frame of mind. Good frame, bad frame. Yeah.
Poetry matters because it can be passed down through the generations, through songs, through stories. It opens up people's minds and leaves a huge impact.
I think it matters because it can express your feelings.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Kira.
Okay, and can poetry matter?
I think so because it kind of makes us more empathetic towards the world, and we need things like math and science to survive, but we live for things like poetry.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Marsha Barber, and I've been thinking about whether poetry matters. I know that the poet Auden said poetry changes nothing in the world, but with respect, I disagree, because I think poetry helps us feel connected. It helps us feel not as alone. The feelings from poetry have a universality often. In good poetry, when I read it, I feel a relationship with the poet, and I hope that's what my poetry does for other people.